Hey, I've got this thing I want to share with you today. It's actually in my book, Communication Culture, Volume 1. Now, Chapter 32. This is the first thing I ask people to read whenever they get the book. And it's simply, and this is also one, to be honest with you today, it is killing me. It's the first thing I tell people to do, first thing I recommend that people do, but dadgum, this one today, it's driving me absolutely crazy. Chapter 32 says, you will find what you're looking for. Like, you will find what you're looking for. And there's some other stuff to it. Blind spot alert number 33. I've got it here highlighted, 2 different colors. I've got 40 blind spot alerts in this book because we've all stepped in something we didn't see coming. This one says, blind spot alert number 33. Says, don't stop looking for something that's important to you just because it takes longer than you thought it would to find it. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you'll find what you're looking for the first time or even the second time. Don't let it stay in your blind spot. Now, here's what this actually means today. I'm right here on Instagram Live, and on this camera, I'm recording it to repurpose later on. Now, here's the thing on Instagram Live. If I move, now this thing that I'm looking at, this white thing that I'm pointing, it looks like it might say exactly what to say, because it does say exactly what to say, but it's backwards, like it's flipped. The mirror it's driving me crazy. I asked ChatGPT what to do about it. I asked Google what to do about it. I almost even asked my teenage kids what to do. I haven't gone that far yet. But what that looks like to me, it's I should know. I feel like I should know the answer to this by now. Hey Mike, you'll find what you're looking for. If you're looking for an answer, you'll find it unless you stop looking. So there are a couple other things about it. Like, this is exactly what to say. It's the workbook edition of Exactly What to Say. I'm also an Exactly What to Say certified guide. I've even got the pin to prove it. And it's a really good thing. And part of what we do as an Exactly What to Say certified guide is we come at conversations a little bit differently. And we do that with several sets of magic words that actually speak directly to they bypass a lot of some of the stuff that kind of gets in the way, and they speak directly to your subconscious, which sounds like it could be a little bit woo-woo, a little bit, sounds like it could be a lot of things. I've heard several people kind of push back on that. Now, here's what I want to say to you. This exactly what to role play. See, over here, it's backwards. Over here, it's not backwards. I know no one cares as much as I do. It's okay. One of the categories that we look at, though, it's perspective changers. And the reason why that matters is because if all you hear are me saying some phrases of words and you feel like I'm trying to trick you or trying to manipulate you into doing something, I'm actually not trying to do that. I'm trying to change your perspective, because a lot of times what we do now in 2025, and more specifically the end of May in 2025, is we see someone who looks at something differently than we do, and then automatically our jab goes up, and then we fight to I don't know if it's fight to the finish, but then we fight, like we for sure fight, because you and I can't possibly disagree on something and still be friends, which is not true. Like, we can for sure do that. But what we try to do with these perspective changers is just try to give a little bit of different perspective. Because the enemy of yes is not no, it's maybe. The enemy of moving forward with a relationship doesn't even have to be a sale. Like, moving forward with a relationship could be getting on the other side of something that I see as an immovable object or a non-negotiable, right? Something that we can't see past. And so what we try to do with these perspective changers is really, instead of slapping you in the face with something, it's to say, well, have you considered that someone else might see it from a different perspective? Now, I don't talk about politics with anyone who can't divorce me, which is kind of a funny thing to say. It's also true, because I've seen relationships not only fractured, but splintered, because one person has a flag waving of their candidate and the other person says, I don't know how you could possibly believe what you say you believe about following God or whatever and think that's okay. And so what we try to do is bring some perspective changers in. Now, they're not all created equal. They don't all actually lead to the same conversation, but the goal is not for me to be right. The goal is to bring up possibly a different point of view, a different perspective. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever changed your mind? Let me ask you another question. Have you ever disagreed with the person in the mirror after an argument was over? whether you feel like you won or lost in the moment. Of course you have, you and I both, right? So that's one of the reasons that this is really impactful. And it's not a way for me to try to walk around and tell people, Mike was right again, or Mike was right for the very first time, like whatever your experience. It's not that. It's to see what could it look like if we were looking at it from a little bit of a different perspective. And so there are a few of these that don't really work for me in this particular situation. So, but these do. Hey, Mike, how would you feel if when you showed this to Instagram Live, it read the way you intend it to read, not backwards? Hey, Mike, how would you feel if that happened? Hey, Mike, how important is it to you that when you're presenting this information, that what you want people to see is actually what they see? I mean, good question. Hey, Mike, could it be possible that there's just some more information that you don't know about yet? Yeah, of course that's possible. Not even possible, but I mean, most likely it's probable. Hey, Mike, just imagine what it could feel like if, as a communicator, the thing you were trying to get across is actually the way that it presented on the other side of this Instagram Live video. I mean, those are very, very impactful, perspective-changing questions. And the reason it's changing my perspective is because it's getting me off of the thing that I'm feeling right in this moment, and it's inviting me to open my mind to something else. What we try to do with these perspective changers is invite the other person in the conversation to see things from a slightly different point of view. Now, that doesn't say, turn your hat around like, over the top, if you know what that is, an old arm wrestling movie reference. Like, it's not about that. A lot of times what we do instead of having conversations is we invite people to a debate. And for me, the goal of every conversation is to be able to come back and have another conversation. I believe, I want you to have better conversations at home, at work, and in your community, both online and off. That's why I do this. That's what I do for a living. That's why I do this thing. I want to help people feel seen and feel valued, and not like, I'm 49-0 in my debates. Like, it's not about that for me. And I don't know that it's about that for you. But the thing that's frustrating to me is I thought I had a solution. About 20 minutes ago, I thought I had a solution to this. And then I would have started this live video that now we're 7 minutes and change into. I would have started it 15 minutes ago, but I couldn't find the solution. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't still find the solution, but back to the blind spot alert. Hey, Mike, don't stop looking for it. Don't be so arrogant to think you're going to get it right the first time, this thing that you're looking for. You will find what you're looking for as long as you don't stop finding. That's the difference between scrolling and searching. When you're scrolling, you're just going down the list here. Before I got on this live, if I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'm just reading what they're feeding to me. I'm reading what the algorithm is feeding to me, right? That's what scrolling is. But when you're searching for something, that's different. When you search for something, you set out looking for it. And yes, you hit the magnifying button and you search for mirror or flip or reverse or, hey, ChatGPT, what filter will flip this around to do the thing that I mean for it to do on May the 28th of 2025? Because we all know that things change pretty rapidly nowadays, right? So another couple of perspective changing questions. Hey, Mike, when was the last time that you thought about something that was important to you and you didn't just stop at the first bump in the road? When was the last time that you moved past it and you actually achieved something? Hey, Mike, what's your experience with not just quitting when it gets hard? Because things are always going to be hard. What we have the opportunity to do is to choose what our heart is going to be, right? Is it, a dream graveyard of ideas that once you thought were really important and now they were just, napkins, back of the napkins that were crumpled up that no one ever took action on, that you, Mike, didn't take action on? What's your experience with living with the regret of not bringing some of those things, not even not bringing some of those things to life, but not, how about this one? Hey, Mike, what's your experience with regretting chasing a dream that you had? How about for you? What's your experience with that? Another set of perspective changing questions is, what do you understand about what it takes? Hey, Mike, what do you understand about the perseverance it takes to seek out and find the answer to the question you're looking for? Hey, Mike, how certain are you that if you continue to look for an answer that you'll be able to find the thing that you're looking for? Hey, Mike, if you keep looking, then you won't have to settle for or give up on the thing that you thought you were wanting to find. So some of that's in here. And it's also in here. This is, it reminded me as I was thinking this through, it reminded me of this verse in the Bible. It's one of my favorites, especially on June the 9th, Galatians 6:9, because June is month number 6, 9 is would be the day. I'll definitely read this again on that. But here's what it says. It says, and this is a guy named Paul who used to be named Saul, and what he did in life is he persecuted Christians. Like, he wanted to end Christianity on his own. And then he met Jesus, and his whole world was changed. He was blind for 3 days. He was a bully, and so all the people that were his posse, they just sat around and kind of waited with him for 3 days. Then God changed his heart. This is that guy. And then he changed his life, and he ended up writing like 2/3 of the New Testament. He ended up writing a lot of stuff. Is he perfect? Of course not. Me and him and you, none of us are perfect, right? Here's what he says, Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Sounds a lot like you'll find what you're looking for. I mean, maybe it doesn't to you, but that's the lens that I see it through. That's the way that I hear it, the filter that I hear it through. So, wrapping it back around. Hey, Mike, just imagine what it's going to feel like when what you expected people would experience is actually the reality for someone. There are 8 billion people on planet Earth. Is my message for all 8 billion? Nope. I do 100% believe that the way that I deliver this message, even this thing right here, I do believe that some people will hear it in a way coming from me that they may not hear, it may not resonate with other people. I just believe that's true. Hey, Mike, could it be possible that when you continue to look for the answer, even moving past something, not ignoring it, but moving past the thing that drives you crazy, that gets on your nerves, that you don't have a solution for, a puzzle piece that you can't make fit in the puzzle yet? That's a really powerful 3-letter word that I learned from my wife when she was teaching 3rd grade. The power of yet. It's one of her great talks. Hey, Mike, how important is it to you that you make a difference, not just try to make a living? I mean, it's vitally important. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons that I do this. Hey, Mike, how would you feel if you had a conversation with someone later and they were watching a video, any content you put out, and they said, hey, you really encouraged me to keep reaching for this goal that I had when you shared that thing? That would mean a ton to me. I'm going to move my head a little. Those tap shoes that you see up there, I started learning how to tap dance when I was 44 years old. I was a beginning tap dancer at age 44. And what I know is true is if I wouldn't have learned how to tap, if I wouldn't have started taking tap lessons, I don't think I would have finished this book. According to the New York Times, 81% of Americans want to write a book every year, and only 1% of them do. And I haven't finished everything that I started, not by a long shot. There was a guy in this organization I was leading. He stood up in a meeting and he said, hey, Mike's not much of a finisher, is he? That was awkward. And yet, while there are some things I haven't finished for sure, there are also some things that I have. So my question for you as I wrap up this video today, what are you looking for? How would you feel if the thing that you were looking for became not a carrot that you were chasing, but became fuel on the gas of your dreams, of what you're looking for, and the way that you work, your work ethic, your compassion, your ability to empathize with people who don't quite see it the same way you do, and yet instead of that being the end of the story, that's just a little bit of a detour, or that's just a little bit of a zigzag. You know, it's what my Oklahoma City Thunder will do tonight whenever the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5 throw up some sort of defense that they're going to try to cook up because they've only been able to stop them one game, and you got to win 4 to advance. Instead of just stopping when the obstacle comes in your way, you'll find what you're looking for. at some point, one day, I will find a solution to this puzzle, and I probably will hop on here and do a version of this talk again. And I may or may not, depending on the day, I may or may not recite that verse in the Bible, Galatians 6:9. Don't get weary in doing good, because at the proper time you will reap a harvest. Like that's a tremendous value to me. And maybe it could be valuable for you as well. So today, I want to remind you, you'll find what you're looking for. If you're looking for a good read, I got a couple of books to recommend to you. One of them is this one. I'll be happy to send you a signed copy. You want to go to my, probably the easiest way would be to go to Venmo Mike Conn Coaching. Venmo me $15 and I will sign it and send it to you. Of course, I'll get your address and everything. Be happy to do that. Lots of good stuff. I'm excited with some of the other speaking opportunities I have tomorrow and the next day in person, and the opportunity for me to get better at this medium of going live and being able to do that. It's interesting to see. This is the last thing I'll say. I wonder what the 2030, May 28, 2030, I wonder what that version of me is going to be proud of, this version of me that I didn't quit. Same for you. I wonder what the May 28th, 2030 version of you, I see Ellis is on this call. Hey, Ellis, I wonder what the May 28th version of 2030, I wonder what that version of you is going to be excited that you kept pursuing. Because you'll find what you're looking for. I wonder what that version of you is going to accomplish and be able to look back on and say, man, I'm so glad that version on May the 28th of 2025, I'm so glad that version of me didn't quit on this goal. As I know there are some things that I'm ecstatic. I'm so grateful to the Mike of 2020 for not stopping on a certain goal or several things that he was trying to get better at. Better husband, better dad. Certainly I have all of my days where it doesn't go well, but I'm constantly trying. I'm in the pursuit of personal discovery, development, and growth. I want to get better, not be better than you, just be better than the guy I was yesterday. So you'll find what you're looking for. Have a great day.